Shalom, everyone from Barnesdall, Oklahoma. I think I pronounced that right, but we've been out here with Grindstone for a few days, cleaning up tons of debris and all that stuff. I haven't really had a chance to film or record anything, or even at the place that's like right over there where the tornado hit and destroyed everything. It's been it it hasn't been that much of an um uh intense experience. It was just go to work, get things done, move debris, separate trees. uh we haven't started taking down houses or anything yet. I think that's why the emotions of everything didn't hit for me. The shit hit the fan for a lot of the people out here, and there was one person that really didn't care. She was just upset that we were blocking the highway for safety reasons, and glad I didn't blow up and start yelling back at her. She was like, "Oh, is that a highway?" So I just rada 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 rada. That's all that I said back to her. She got pissed off and gave me the finger and sped off. But some people don't really care or acknowledge what's going on unless it's happening to them. That's that's a really big problem, a really big concern. What do you do 1 second after shit hits the fan? Like, will you even know? Will you even recognize that is actually happening? Was it last week, or was yeah last week? My wife, she left the mini split on because we're completely off grid, and the solar panels didn't charge up the batteries to 100% because it was cloudy and everything, and everything went off. I have uh, two different inverters. One inverter that takes care of it's a 2,000-watt inverter that takes care of the Starlink internet, the cameras, the freezers that are, well, one freezer that's converted into a refrigerator, then the other freezer, all the power inside, and then the other inverter charger, the 3,000-watt one, that only runs the mini split. So usually, what ends up happening when the voltage gets too low, the that inverter turns itself off. It'll hit like 10. uh, it will sense that it's pulling so much power that it's at 10.5 volts, and it'll shut itself off and won't turn back on until we start the generator, start running that, and everything. It starts charging the batteries. She didn't know what was going on when she woke up from her nap. It's like everything is off. The lights are off. There's no internet because we don't have cell phone coverage there. Unless you go up to the road, you'll get 1 bar of cell phone service. But outside of that, you you don't get any cell phone service on property because we're that far off grid. It's it has its pros and cons of what actually works, uh, what works when you want it to work. So we actually live in a place where when shit hits the fan, somebody's going to have to come and tell us that it actually happened. Right? When people lose power in the towns that are around us, it doesn't affect us because we're completely off grid. Until our batteries die, we're good. Uh, and we have a 200 a 250-gallon propane tank that feeds our generator. The only issue is I haven't figured out how to get it to start automatically. Once it senses the voltage is low, not the generator, but the 3,000 watt inverter, it has that 2-wire start thing. So so it could send a signal or close a circuit to start the generator. And then once it's up to the voltage that we have it set to, it'll turn the generator off. So I have to dive into that some more once I have some time. Maybe once we're done here on this deployment for Grindstone Ministries, it it we may be here for a few weeks. You never know, because we're dealing with people that shit hit the fan for them, but where I live, it didn't. We just lost power. My wife was asleep. She wasn't paying attention to the voltage. She's concerned about the solar flares. And there's a lot of times that she forgets because we live so comfortably that it's like, oh, did you get the message? The power went off in town. Okay, how is that going to affect us? And then it clicks in her head like, oh yeah, we live off of solar. Shoot, if it wasn't for someone that lives on the other side of the mountain than us, they paid $122,000 to electric poles and get electricity ran to their property. So now our the closest electric pole to us is about a mile away. I still wouldn't want to pull the trigger on that. Uh, Someone past us was planning on paying $22,000 to get electric ran to their property, and then from there, where it would be across the road, for us to get it on our property, it would cost about $5,000. I was like, oh, $5,000, we can purchase a bigger propane tank, or we can purchase more batteries. There's so many more things that we can do with that $5,000 that we would continuously be paying to some company, and we would have to deal with their power outages, or their network is too unstable, so they have to shut stuff down or have rolling blackouts or boost our rates or something like that. No, I don't want to deal with that. Not at all. We also have concerns of storms. Like we live out here in Oklahoma, tornadoes will happen. Well, back in New Jersey, tornadoes would happen as well. I lived through a tornado. What was that, in 1997 or 8? We were hanging out at some girl's house off of Route 22 in North Plainfield, and a tornado hit right outside, destroyed a lot of stuff, destroyed, took down trees in Plainfield, power outages, and all of that stuff. But we were in the middle of it. We knew the storm hit. We had to wait till they turned the water back on. We had to wait till they turned the electric back on. Where I live now, we wouldn't even known. Only if we lost the internet. When that happens, Starlink says it's calculating, and then we have service back again. So I'm not too worried when shit hits the fan from a natural disaster, because we wouldn't know. That's how I'm trying to protect and insulate my family, so that they don't have to stress. I don't have to stress. Like, oh, the power's out. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? For us, the power is out. We got to just start the generator and to charge the batteries, or wait for the sun to come out so it could charge the batteries. Then we're good. How long that will last, I don't know. And for the people here in Barnsdall, they have been so kind and gracious and grateful that we're here helping them in some of the worst times of their lives. Their houses got destroyed. A lot of them don't know what they're going to do next. Some are planning to rebuild, some are planning to move on. Some are bringing camper trailers in to try and figure out if they can save their house. What is the insurance company going to say? What is the insurance company going to pay? I don't want to have to deal with all of that. Something bigger actually happens, a war kicks off here on US soil. Where I live, people will come together and be able to fight back. That type of shit hitting the fan doesn't play where I stay. If nuclear fallout happens, that's that's just par for the course. You survive the best you can. I don't own a Geiger counter, so I wouldn't be able to scan the ground or scan our vegetables and see how irradiated they are. Our food preps, would they be messed up? Would they be destroyed? We would just have to keep pushing and survive. Like the electrons don't dictate how we go and survive. When shit hits the fan, we'll have to find out a few days later. Once we leave our mountain, once we realize, hey, the cell phones aren't working. Oh, the cell phones aren't working for a few days. Oh, the internet is not allowing stuff to go through. Maybe we should go down the mountain and check, see what's actually going on, if it's even safe down there. Got to get our radio comms up for our area. Need a really tall antenna, maybe mounted to a tree or something like that. So hopefully I'll be able to triangulate signal around the mountain that we live on. Because we're not at the tippy top peak, we're on the southern face. Oh, southwestern face, but it's cool. It's a beautiful living. I have my plans for when shit hits the fan. What are your plans for when shit hits the fan? Bug out bags only get you so far. How are you going to live your life? Let me know. Shalom.